semuanya menarik. Ada yang ini, ada yang itu, ada promo diskon yang bikin pengen cepet move on. Produk spesialis datang dengan menu segudang, dijelasin asikku aja tertarik. Coba dulu testing dulu pakai semua lensa, luar biasa, hasilnya sempurna. Pilih yang ini, pilih yang itu, pilih yang ini, pilih yang itu, semua ada. Pilih yang ini, pilih yang itu, pilih aja di DOSS. www.DOSS.id, marketplace juga aplikasi beli gratis delivery. Ada asuransi extended warranty dari DOSS Protection, total perfection. Foto pacaran, foto kucing, pas postingnya komen kau coba dilanggarin, supaya orang kagum ku ikut DOSS Classroom and only learning from the master. Hanya di DOSS, 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 DOSS. Hanya di DOSS, 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 DOSS. Hanya di DOSS, 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 DOSS. Hanya di DOSS, hanya di DOSS.
This camera has clear voice recording, which is perfect for recording your voice even in windy places.
Yeah.
I sell the old one. And I buy the new one, but still A9.
Hai sahabat DOSS. Okay. Now we start already. So Oke. Apa kabar semuanya sahabat DOSS? Sekarang kita bertemu kembali di DOSS Virtual Classroom chapter 37. Oke, kita di chapter 37 ini kita itu kedatangan tamu yang sangat spesial banget gitu loh. Ya, tamu yang luar biasa. Kali ini tuh kita senang banget karena Manny Librodo itu adalah salah satu profesional fotografer dari Filipina. Ya, maybe I need to say hi to Manny. Hi Manny.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. What about you? You good?
I'm good. I'm COVID good.
Nice. How is the situation in Philippines now?
I'm actually in Bangkok right now. And I only get news about the Philippines through social media.
Okay. So you stay in Bangkok now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, for how long you stay in Bangkok now?
Um, you mean during the COVID? I was here since February, but I'll be talking more about myself later on in my presentation. I actually had been Bangkok based for quite some time.
Okay, okay. So, okay. So are you planning to going back to Philippines after this COVID-19?
Yes, yes, I would love to. Let's see. I can go back when situation normalize a bit, when they are not too strict about quarantining and so on and so forth.
Oke. Oke. Jadi teman-teman, hari ini kita akan membahas tentang how to shoot emotive photos yang dimana kita tahu ya, Manny Librodo ini tuh bisa sekali untuk membawa satu foto yang bagaimana meng-create satu konsep ataupun output yang akan dikeluarkan itu tapi bisa membawa satu rasa emosional gitu ya, mungkin seperti itu. Nah tapi kali ini workshop kita akan dibawakan dalam bahasa Inggris semua karena Manny Librodo seperti teman-teman tahu adalah professional fotografer dari Filipina. Oke, maybe we don't need to. I don't need to talk too much. So maybe I'll leave to Manny to start the presentation or the workshop. Please, Manny.
All right. Okay.
Wow.
Good morning, everyone. You can see my screen right now. I'm sharing a presentation right now. You can see it, right?
Yes, we can see it
Yes.
now.
Okay. Um, so ever since I started my photography, people have been telling me that my pictures speaks a lot of emotions. For me, I thought it's normal for us to take photos with emotion, but then I learned that some photographers are actually kind of struggling in terms of portraying emotions in their photos. So my presentation today is gonna be about how to shoot emotive photos.
Good.
Okay. First and foremost, we have to define what emotive means. According to Webster Dictionary, emotive means arousing or being able to arouse an intense feeling. In other words, when people look at your photos, if we apply it in photography, they feel a certain kind of emotion, not just actually a certain kind of emotion, but an intense emotion. So before I get into my presentation proper, I will show to you a behind the scene video of one of my workshops. And after that, I'll be showing to you the pictures that were taken from that workshop.
Okay.
Okay, again. Wait.
I think we
This
need
is my first
to
time to
moving back to see the
do it.
video.
Okay. Okay.
Nice video.
Thank you so much. I'll change some settings first. Okay. Anyway, from that workshop, I suppose that we came out with the emotive photos. So I'll
Yeah.
show to you some of my outputs taken during the workshop. So during that workshop, do my usual tight portraits of the model. I tried to play around with the light inside the temple, also from that workshop. And if you notice, I tried to bring out the emotions from the models. Once again, I played with the light with the help of some smoke to make the light more dramatic.
Wow.
Light and shadows. I am big with that, you know. I hate it when there is no light because I feel that the picture becomes flat. So we tried to play around with the light and the shadow, and I added the mirror, the broken mirror, which we just show lying down on the floor, you know, during the workshop. So everything is spontaneous during the workshop. There's not much planned except the models and the location. And everything is spontaneous, depends on the emotion of the photographer and the model and the mood of the location. So we play around with the light more, and I noticed that the fabric creates a beautiful effect when the model held it up.
So you are using a flash,
No, it's all natural light.
all natural light.
Yes.
Okay.
During the workshop, I use natural light, and only when it's too dark, when some of the photographers and the organizer would ask me if I would like to use light, and sometimes I do, but my photography is mainly natural light. So in that workshop, we also shoot normal people, you know, like people that we see on the side of the road, because I would like to show to the photographers that it's actually sometimes better to shoot normal people than real models because they display the most genuine emotion. And I noticed that one of the participants, he has tattoo on his arms. So I told him how much tattoo you have, and he said I have it in all of my back. And I said like, okay, take off your shirt. I want to shoot you. Okay, he's a participant. He's a photographer participant in the
Wow.
workshop. And because I don't want to show his face, because he doesn't want to show his face, I told him to hide behind the flowers. So this was a picture taken of a participant of the workshop.
Volume up.
So anyway, I would like to emphasize the fact that your photography is actually a reflection of yourself. You could not detach yourself from your photography.
Okay.
So why am I taking emotive photos? Why am I taking photos with emotions? I would like to share with you some of the facts about myself. Fact number one, I started photography at the age of 40. That
Wow.
is serious photography.
Okay.
Before I got into serious photography, I was just using point and shoots.
So you
So,
just started at the 40?
uh-huh,
Okay, you mean serious using like a professional camera?
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So before that, it's all point and shoot. And before that, I also was not into arts, except art appreciation. I love to look at beautiful photos. But before that, I could not draw, I could not paint. You know, when I tried to sing, I'm out of tune. You know, I was really off the artist path. Okay.
Okay.
I love traveling. Okay. I go to places, that are very picturesque, and I love to pose. So before I got at the back of the camera. I was in front of the camera.
Okay.
But if you notice, my travel photos are not normal. Like for example, if you see there my picture from Morocco,
Okay.
I researched on what the colors of the background would be, and I bought a shirt that would go along with it. So before I got into photography, I was into the making of a good photograph already.
Okay. So you do the research, and after that you decide what kind of a shirt you want to put on the frame.
Yes, what would be the outfit? What would be the color combination? I
Wow.
have to blend in well uh, in the scenery and so on and so forth.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I have my point and shoot, and I have to ask my friend to shoot for me. So whenever I see the pictures, I would tell my friend to compose it this way or that way. And sometimes my friend would say, "Why don't you shoot yourself?" Because I always keep on complaining on how the composition is.
Yeah.
The second fact, before I got into photography full time, I was a teacher in psychology and history in an international school in Bangkok, Thailand. That's why I'm here now in
Oh,
Bangkok, because I have my house here in Bangkok, because I was teaching here for, wow, more than 20 years.
wow.
Yeah.
So
If you noticed, yeah,
you are really a teacher in the school.
yes, I am. I
It's a
am.
high.
I was a teacher in psychology and history. If you noticed, I underline here psychology and history because a lot of this will be reflected in my photos. I think I'm using a lot of psychology in my photos.
Okay.
And that's the reason why probably I could unlock the emotions of people because I'm using a bit of psychology to get that emotions from them.
How? Do you have any example that
I
we
will
can
go.
use?
I will go through that later on. Okay,
Ah,
when
okay.
I show the
Okay.
pictures. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
When I was a teacher, as what I've said, I love traveling. In this slide, you can see a lot of pictures I took when I travel. After a while, I'm tired of posing, and I started to shoot people. Okay,
Oh,
and I noticed that I am quite good in portraits because I think I can bring out more the emotions in my photos when I shoot people. Like for
okay.
example, the kids in here. Why are they laughing? Okay, because I also laugh. You know, why are they looking at me in such a scary way? Because I also kind of show to them some scary feeling. So it's that's a bit of psychology that's working in there. But I will talk more about that later on.
Okay.
So these are pictures that I took with my point and shoot. And
Wow.
early on, people are telling me that, hey, Manny, you have a gift in photography. You can capture an emotion. And
Yes.
that's the reason why I became quite an addict of photography because I was getting good comments from people about my photos, especially if I shoot people. So this was taken in Morocco.
But
And
that's
then,
very nice, Manny. Just using a point
yeah,
on shoot camera.
just using a point and shoot.
Wow,
And then
that's
what
good.
happened was that with my point and shoot, I started to join competitions. And these are some of the photos that I joined in the competitions.
And then you
Um,
win.
and if you notice here in my watermark, it says 2004. That's like when I was 40 years old,
Okay.
still with the point and shoot.
Wow.
And I noticed that a lot of people are telling me that, hey, Manny, if you use an SLR camera, I think your pictures will be better. So anyway, if you can see in here, I tried to compensate the inferiority of my camera, which was just a point and shoot, with a lot of storytelling in my photos.
Yeah,
I
correct.
feel that I win because of the storytelling capabilities of my photos.
Wow.
I also noticed that people are reacting more to my photos, or I'm getting more attention, or I'm winning more competitions if I show something that is not typical, like for example, in the Western world, you would not see this kind of scenery.
Correct.
Like a little boy holding, a puppy with many puppies underneath a pile of wood.
Yes.
You would not see that in the Western world.
Correct.
So I noticed that when you show something different, they become more attentive to your work.
And then all these pictures taken in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yes, in Bangkok, around
Okay.
the vicinity where I live.
Okay. Wow. Nice.
Still with a point and shoot. So I feel that photography early on for me was not just taking beautiful photos, but photography is more than that. Photography is storytelling. You have to tell your story. You have to
Hmm.
tell their story. Only then can you capture the attention of the people looking at your photos when you tell them a story, when you are portraying an emotion. Okay, this picture is very memorable for me. You have to remember this picture. Why?
Okay.
Because this was the first picture that I took that got me a lot of attention internationally, including UNICEF. UNICEF used this as a cover of one of their magazines.
Okay.
And this was just taken with a point and shoot. Okay, this girl was um, a daughter of a tattoo artist in Boracay Island in the Philippines. And what makes this picture special for me is also because of the fact that this was taken in the Philippines, because I've been taking a lot of photos in Thailand,
Yeah.
and I somehow, missed out taking photos of the Philippines. But when I got back home and took her photo, I don't know her personally, it became quite viral in some sense. You have to remember this because I'm going back to her at the end of my presentation.
Okay.
I think they said that the picture is very effective because I can see that it's so simple. But they said that, hey, Manny, it's not simple. Look at the eyes; it's telling a lot of stories. Look at your light; it's beautiful. Look at your colors; they are precise. And
Yes.
at that point in time, I just stared at the photo and said, like, it's typical. I think it's normal for me to take this kind of photo, a picture of a child, and let the child look at your lens, and they could tell you a lot of stories. But then, not many people see this.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing is, I was a teacher. I was teaching full time, and before I can say that I can shoot every day, I have to go back and earn my living. So I have to go back to school and teach.
Yeah.
But I have this strong desire to keep on shooting. At this point in time, I bought my SLR camera, and I kept on joining competitions, online competitions, left and right, with my SLR camera. And my favorite subjects were my students. So in the next slides, you would see her pictures of some of my students in the school. So this
Okay.
one is, I remember her very vividly because I won a competition with this picture. But this was just taken in the school, and she was just in a school uniform. I think it's the emotion, and people when they see it, they say like the hair makes a lot of difference, the hair
Yes.
across the face.
Yes.
But if you look at the books, they would tell you that, hey, no stray hair, you have to have a clean face. But I think without the hair, the picture is nothing. Okay,
Yes. Correct.
so she's Kitty, and she's one of my students in my psychology class.
Ah, she's
After
beautiful.
I shoot Kitty, I became addicted to shooting my students, and I have to be very careful because I might get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So I have to shoot my students inside my classroom.
Ah.
And what I did was I was only using window light coming from one side, and I colored my bulletin board black. Okay, so
Okay.
and here are some of the photos that was taken from that place. So the background
Mm.
is a bulletin board, and the source of the light coming from one side is the window. from my
Wow.
classroom, and the model is my student. She's an Indian
Nice.
student, so I asked her to bring some sari, to add
Uh,
more color into
yes.
the picture.
Wow, she's
I
beautiful.
was, yeah, I was teaching in an international school, so I have international students. This
Ah,
one is a Japanese, okay? And again, this was taken in the same location. If you notice the black background, that's a bulletin
yes.
board, okay? And the fabric is, I feel that that's the only thing that I could use in my photos that can give me colors, because I don't have a studio, I don't have a makeup artist, I don't have a stylist, but I have plenty of fabrics. So I brought in fabrics to create some sort of a window effect.
Very creative.
Yeah, early, and this was in the year probably 2005, and during that time not many people shoot this kinds of picture. So when
Exactly.
I so when I showed them online, I became quite viral because people are starting to talk about my work. And when they learn my story that I am just a teacher and I'm just shooting my students in my classroom, it became more sensational because these are
Yes.
not normal situations.
Exactly.
So after a while, people are saying that, hey, it's Manny, it's work, he's in his studio again with the black background. So I brought my students out of my classroom and tried to use red bulletin boards. Okay, so
Again.
this was a bulletin board. It was a very clean bulletin board, but then I learned how to use Photoshop to bring out the details of
Okay.
um, of a clean surface.
But
And then
but
after,
now
mhm,
it's not a black color, red color.
yes, because they said that, hey, it's money, it's work, it's becoming predictable. So I don't want to be predictable, so I bring out my students to a red bulletin board. And then after a
Okay.
while, they say like, why always red? So I
Uh,
learned how to manipulate colors in Photoshop. So I
oh,
changed red to blue. Okay. So
nice.
I think the limitations that I have, the limitations of no studio, no lighting, no props, no models, these are the very thing that made me who I am right now, because I became more creative with the little that I have.
Correct.
And I was
Wow.
always on a lookout for students who has the most expressive eyes, because I feel that the eyes are the jump off point of the photo. And
Correct.
I also learned how to use the veil more creatively, because that's the only thing that I could use.
Only the veil, only the sari, only
Yeah,
the
only the eyes, only the
yeah,
face of the student.
yeah. But
But
mm,
but plenty of emotions, because I think they
exactly,
are not models, so they show the most pure emotions.
exactly, agree. But I want to say from the pictures I saw
Mhm.
just now, you show to us, is
Mhm.
really all those eyes is very strong, like
Yeah,
telling something. Really,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
perfect, Manny.
Because I think I have no choice, because I have nothing to show in the background, so I have
Yes,
to zero in on what is it on the face that tells the story. And
good.
most usually the answer are the eyes.
Okay,
So
good.
how to shoot emotive photos? Look at the eyes.
Look
You
at the
know?
eyes. Okay, that's the keyword. Look at the
Yes.
eyes.
Okay. Look at that.
Wow.
So
Again.
if you notice, just the veil, the eyes, if you can see there in the eyes of my model, my student model, you can see there the window. Okay.
Yeah.
And I also became very creative in terms of composing my pictures. Like how much will I cut off? Because people would say like, "Hey, you cut off the chin. It's against the rules. Hey, you cut
Ah,
off the forehead. Why? You
yeah.
know." But there are many more praises than bashers that I got doing that, because I'm actually breaking the rules and I'm coming up with beautiful work of art, even if I do break the rules.
Mm. But this is very nice, really. Is it
Thank you so much.
really beside of the window?
Yes, You can see
Okay.
there the window in her eyes.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. In the eyes. But the eyes
yeah.
is very strong.
Yeah, because I think my number one criteria when I look for models among my students are the eyes. So
I
I look
see.
at the eyes, and if I see them very expressive, I would start talking to them. Convince them to pose for me, and I usually get a yes because I'm a teacher.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. Fact number three: I work with extremely passionate
Passionate
people.
people.
Yeah. So my students were very passionate. The ones that I asked to pose for me, they are very passionate. Why? Because I try to make them realize that when I shoot them, it also becomes their work, not just my work, because they are pouring in a lot of effort and a lot of
Yeah.
emotions. And when I was teaching in the international school in Bangkok, I actually was able to find a muse, someone who can inspire me. And she's a student. She was a student in that school, and her name is Crystal.
Wow.
I actually discovered her when she was a junior in high school, and together we shoot almost every day in the school, and together we win competitions in in a lot of online competitions. And Crystal became so famous after that. It's not
Exactly.
just me. And right now, she's actually in Hollywood. She's pursuing her American dream, and she has actually some movies
Wow.
in Hollywood already.
Wow.
But she started, modeling for me.
Thanks
Uh,
to you.
well, actually, she was already in kind of like acting in Bangkok before
Okay.
she modeled for me. So actually, she has helped me a lot
Putus.
also in terms of getting my works out there. So here are some of the pictures I took of Crystal. Before long, I used Crystal as a model when I started doing my workshops. Like what happened was
Wah,
that
kok
when
bisa
I
ini?
posted my works
Wait,
online,
Manny.
people I started to are starting to take notice of me, and lo and behold, someone would like to fly over to Bangkok to learn photography from me. And here I am, who doesn't know about photography, who didn't go to school, any photography school, who doesn't know the rules about photography, and someone is asking me to teach them photography.
Okay.
So uh, it was kind of surreal, but I take on the challenge, and that started off my journey in photography as someone who is doing more workshops. And I think it
Okay.
became very natural for me because I was a teacher for more than 20 years.
So you know how to explain, how to
Mhm.
talk. Very nice.
I know when to say something. I know when to listen. I know how to praise my students. I know how to give them feedbacks in a
Yeah.
very effective way. I know that there are different kinds of learning styles and so on and so forth. So it became so
Okay.
natural for me.
But Manny, can
Mhm.
in this picture now, what we see
Mhm.
now, what you can tell about this picture? If I see this picture,
Mhm.
it's like sad. I'm feeling
Mhm.
sad.
Yeah. Actually, I have explored different feelings of Crystal, So I explored her in a happy mood, in a
Mhm.
sad mood. But then I
Okay.
feel that whenever I show something sad, something soulful, I think it's her eyes, Even if she smiles, she has soulful eyes. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I feel that when I'm showing something more soulful, people are drawn to it. And when I show something happy, they're just, it's just one of those smiling faces,
Mhm.
you know. So I learned that when I tell more story when I show something more soulful, okay. And sometimes I forgot that there's actually a happy emotion, because I am more on the sad and soulful side.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are more pictures of Crystal that I took. Because she's an
Wow.
actress, I actually asked her to cry, and she did. at a queue. Like I said, like, Crystal, how long? She said, wait, 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 it's coming, it's coming. So it's funny because we explored each other's artistry in that short time when we were working together.
Okay.
Okay, so when she graduated from high school, when she went to college in Bangkok, in one of the universities in Bangkok, we continue working together. So I shoot her outside of the school, and I eventually had her as my model in many of my workshops. And
Okay.
eventually, actually, I was able to bring her to Indonesia in one of the workshops that Fajar
Did arrange,
organized.
organize.
Crystal was my model.
Wow.
Okay, the thing is, when I was shooting Crystal, I was in Bangkok. I was posting it online, and without my knowledge, I actually became very famous in the Philippines. So everyone wants to shoot with me. Everyone in the Philippines wants to attend workshop with me. So when I went home one summer in the Philippines, I did a workshop, and there I encountered another passionate model, and her name is Karu. Okay,
Ooh.
I brought in Karu maybe 4 or 5 times in Indonesia for a workshop, and oh my,
Wow.
she's more famous than I am. Okay, okay. So anyway, what's good about Karu and what's different about Karu is that she's not just a model. She's a one-stop shop. She does her styling,
Mhm.
she does her makeup,
Wow.
and she even sew her dresses. That were used during the workshop.
Really?
So the workshop becomes some sort of a TV show, kind of like a reality show. Three concepts from Karu. She would come out, and then she would, after 1 hour, she would hide in a room, do her makeup again, and change, and come out as a different person again. So it became some sort of a show for her. And I was just there to document it. She's so passionate about what she was doing, and it also feeds my passion and artistry. In other words, we kind of like feed into each other's artistry. And here are some of the pictures that I took of Karu. And I would like to tell you that she does all her makeup and styling in all of these photos.
So it's really one-stop shopping, like you said.
Yeah. This picture is actually a lot of work. Have you seen the bees on the face? They are actually real bees, but then they are dead. She has to preserve them,
Wow.
and she has to color the bees, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of passion thrown into the picture. And as a
Wow.
photographer, I need to put in a lot of passion too. If you notice in my composition, I don't usually put my subject right in the middle of the frame. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's usually on the side.
Yes.
And I feel that I am actually telling more stories with that, because when you have, for example, a space on the left side, an empty space on the left side, people are trying to put in their story. Like, what's the story? So it became some sort of their picture too, because they are contributing into the picture, the
Okay.
onlookers. And so I give them that space for them to throw in their story, because there's no definite story in the picture.
Correct. So we just let the empty space. Sometimes people say like, "Hey, you cannot give some like empty space on your frame," you know.
Mhm.
It's but it's
Mhm. My
yes,
take on that is, I think it's a case-to-case basis. I mean, if you have a picture like this, if you put her in the middle, it's just gonna be an ordinary picture,
correct.
you know. But the door right there, it's not actually an empty space, and that light coming in, let it occupy as much space as her face, because it also tells a lot of story.
Correct. Agree. Very nice.
Yeah, look at the eyes. It seems that you're looking at two different people, but that's still Karu. But I
Yes.
think people are telling me that, hey, Manny, your composition is awesome, and I don't know about composition rules in composition. Like I cut many things in here, what makes it awesome, But they tell me that look at the eyes, there are like in line 3 eyes, and then it goes down there at the bottom, and then it goes back to the eye. So there's a triangle,
Yeah.
and also
Yeah.
the shape of the face. It's also a triangle right there.
Yeah.
So I do not see that when I shoot. People are telling me eventually, why the composition is good.
And then, did you pay attention on the hair, on the eyes? There are two hairs, and
Uh-huh.
it really not cut the pupil.
Yes.
It's very good.
I did not pay attention to that. I'm sure I took a lot of photos, and this is one of the photos where it doesn't cut the pupil. Okay, maybe the
I
other
see.
photos cut the pupil. Yeah, so I just
This
take
is
a lot of
perfect.
photos.
This is really perfect.
Thank you.
Wow.
Again, her makeup, her styling, amazing. So for me as a photographer, if I don't show in as much emotion, as much passion,
Hmm.
I would be not giving justice to our efforts. So the fact that I was working with extremely passionate people adds to me taking pictures that are emotive.
Nice.
Okay, that's still Karu. And yeah, this was a workshop in Mandalay. So I
Mandalay
brought
is
her around the world.
Philippine.
We had been to the Middle East. We had been to many other countries. Because of our workshops together. That's
Wow.
still Karu. So she can change into something. So many
Yeah.
things. She's a
Yeah.
chameleon.
Wow.
And this was a workshop I did in Indonesia, which was organized by Pacha
Okay.
with Karu. That's Karu.
S-
And she's also the kind of model who doesn't care if I tell her, Karu, can you go down on the canal? Or Karu, can you go down by the river? She would do that. And
Wow.
sometimes she would even tell me, Tito, which means uncle, Tito, I can actually go down there. You want me to go down there? So
Whoa.
sometimes I feel bad for her, but sometimes she is the one who wants to do things that are kind of risky and things that are not natural.
Okay. So she's really passionate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the facts that I have, that contributed to my photography. The fourth fact and the last is that I always believe that even if I do shoot Karu, even if I do shoot crystal, travel photography is always my first genre. I
Okay.
always believe that this is where I started, and I always believe that this is what made me the Manny Librodo that I am right now. The travel photos that I do have. So here are some of the pictures in my travel. Of course, you know
Wow.
where it was taken from. That's of
This is
course
Bali.
from Bali,
Yeah.
and you know
Ulundanu.
the guy probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of Indonesians know him. Okay. Um, I always feel that when I travel, I'm showing the most pure emotions, real emotions. Of course, Karu and Crystal can give me emotions in my
Yeah.
workshops, but the thing is, nothing beats real emotions, and nothing beats real scenery, in my
Agree.
travels.
Agree.
And the experience of like waking up early in the morning, traveling hours and hours by boat, to get to such places. It adds more into the emotion, your emotion as a photographer, which in turn is translated into your photos.
And then the best thing is, even though we wake up earlier, we go for by boat, but once we got the very nice picture, it's gonna be make us so satisfied. Am I right?
And you want to do it again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And when I
Wow.
travel, I see things like this, like shadows, and these things that I experience in my travel, I bring them into my workshops, even if I'm shooting models. Like, oh, I noticed that we have perfect shadows in here. Maybe I can do that with my model. So if you notice a while ago in my workshop in Bagan, you can see there the shadow on the face of the model.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually discovered that in one of my travels, and I tried to translate that into my workshops.
Okay. But this is really nice.
Thank
I
you.
like. Oh my gosh.
Emotions. Yeah. I think I could not get this in my workshop. Like Karu can give me that kind of face, but then people would say she's just acting.
Yes.
But if you see this from real people in your real travel in a real place, people would say, "Oh my God," just like your reaction right now. "Oh my God," look at the
Exactly.
eyes. What could be her story? you know?
Exactly. How
And when
how
you start wondering about the story, then the picture becomes yours because you
exactly.
start to actually tell her story, which is probably not her story. But then there's too much um, story on her face, right?
Yes, exactly. How can you make that child look at the upside like this?
I just point to them, look at there, because I would like to get that catch light in the eyes. If they
Okay.
look at me, you could not see the catch light in the
It's like
eyes. But if they look up there, the catch light is reflected in their eyes.
okay. I got
But in this old woman, there's no catch light. Okay.
crazy.
Because her eyes, she has cataract,
Oh yeah,
and that's
cataract.
exactly the reason why I have to let her cover the other eye because the other eye is good. I want to show to me her bad eye, you know, and for me, that is more powerful than showing
Yes.
her good eyes.
This picture is
Okay.
really strong. Like it's very it has a strong character. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know. Yeah.
Yes. If there are, I think there are four people who made a lot of impact in my photography, and there are four people who actually made me who I am right now. And these are, remember the little girl,
Yeah.
the first in the early slide. Okay,
Yes. Mhm.
you will get back to her later on. She's the first one, and then Crystal, and then Karu,
Karu.
and then this one, Rosalinda. This
Oh.
picture made me very famous.
This picture.
Yes,
Oh, so the
I
first
took
picture that make you
I
famous is the little girl, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So there are four of them. So and I think my encounter with these four people really cemented my place in photography. I couldn't
Okay.
have made it on my own were it not for these four people.
Okay. Wow. So
In
inspiring.
other words, you can be a very good photographer, but if you don't work with the right people, with the right subject, you can only be as good as you can get. You
Exactly.
need to somehow go beyond that. And
Yeah.
for me, these four people allowed me to go beyond that.
Why the last picture you said that make you very very famous, Manny?
Okay.
Why?
I've won a lot of competitions.
Because of this picture.
Yeah. And
Mm.
her picture was featured in so many cover pages of magazines. I took this picture in 2006,
Okay.
and what was 2006 like? There were not too many good photographers back then. So if you come up with a picture like that, you
Yeah.
would really be good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
but
even
now there are
until
too many
now,
good photographers.
yeah. But even until now, just now when I saw that picture, I think like, wow, the character is very strong. This picture
Uh-huh.
is very very strong character. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I tried to go back to that photo. Yeah, very strong photography. But the thing is, you have to show her story. Yes, you have such a powerful face, but then how are you going to tell her story? I can shoot wide and show where she is working,
Yeah.
you know, but then people would not see the eyes,
Exactly.
right? I can show them both eyes, which I did in one of my photos, and that was also very effective. But I think this one is the most effective because it shows a lot of lines on her face.
Yeah.
It shows many rings on her fingers. Those rings tell a lot of stories.
Yeah.
You know,
Very
you can
unique.
see how bad the eyes are. You can see a bit of the hair. So in other words, you have to somehow have a picture in your mind on what story you would like to tell about her.
And this picture telling a lot of story.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't actually have to say much, because
Yeah.
when you look at the picture,
We
it
know already.
screams
Exactly.
stories.
Exactly. You see the detail from the skin, and then
Mhm.
this kind of eyes is like, what do you wanna whatever story you wanna make with this picture, you can do it. Why?
It's
Because
like a blank space. Okay,
exactly,
it's like a
exactly,
blank space. You can
yeah,
write in your story there. You can see their
yes,
success. You know, you
exactly,
can see their hard work.
exactly,
Yeah.
everything, really, really
Yes.
good. You deserve it.
Okay, so let's get into the topic right now. You know a little bit about myself. But then I have to put it in a lecture situation.
Yeah,
How to take emotive photos. And for this presentation, there are so many things that I could give you as a list on how to take emotive photos. But right now, I'm going to zero in on only three things. Once again, I would like to remind you of the definition of the word emotive: arousing or being able to arouse an intense feeling. And for me, these three things could show or could bring in an emotion into your picture. Number one is the light.
likes,
Number two is your composition. How do you compose your shots? How do you frame your picture? And number three is how do you
colors,
use colors?
like composition,
Okay,
colors.
so
Okay,
first I will talk about the light.
okay,
I would like to tell you, this is a disclaimer. I would like to tell you that I'm not a very technical photographer, but I think I have so much heart in my photos. And I think all of these things that I will be telling you about, there are things that you already know. But I would like to show it to you from my angle, and I will support it with pictures. So for me, the best kind of light that could tell you a story is side lighting. When you put your light on the side. I think that also explains the fact that I love my early shots because my source of light was my window from my
yeah,
classroom from one side. Because if you, for example, have pictures like this, with a side lighting, you can create a shadow and can tell a lot of story. This was a picture taken in my workshop. And once again, the side lighting creates a big impact into the picture because with the side lighting, you can see the light and the shadow, and it can give a sense of depth into the picture. In this workshop picture, you would notice that apart from the element of the light, I'm bringing in the element of colors because here you can see that colors are coming in from the window, from the colors of the window panes. In my one of my recent photos in the trip that I had in Ladakh, you can see here that once again the source of my light is coming from one side, and if you notice it, my models were not looking at me. You know, they were looking at the source of the light. That's the reason why you can see the catch light in the eyes. I think the catch light is very, very important. It tells a lot of stories, and you can only get that catch light in the eyes of your model if your model is looking at the source of the light. So they don't necessarily have to look at you. You have to tell them, you have to direct them to look at the source of the light. Again, from my last trip in Ladakh, I shot this picture and I actually instructed her to go to that part of the frame where you can see the light, just illuminating one half of the face. The shadow on the face that tells a lot of stories, and it actually makes her look more mysterious.
Okay.
In one of my recent photos, also last January, in most of the pictures that I'll be showing to you as my example, they're actually recent photos. But if you notice here, the source of the light again is from one side and from the sun, and I put her in a spot where I can actually see the shadows, the harsh
Wow.
shadows, because for
This
me,
is
I think it adds a lot to the emotions of the pictures
yeah.
when you
This is
show in
all
harsh
natural light.
shadows.
All natural light.
All natural light.
Wow.
So in this
Wow.
picture, try to imagine it without the umbrella. It's just ordinary, right?
Yes, correct.
So I added the element of the umbrella because I know that the light will bounce beautifully in the umbrella, And once again, the source of the light is coming from the side.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting, because people are trying to avoid shadows. I love shadows. I feel that the shadows tells a lot more story. When you are shooting a beautiful subject, you just want the face to be illuminated always, even illumination, and I hate that
Yeah.
because I feel that the shadows create more story than the light.
Exactly.
Okay, another kind of light that I like is the spotlight effect. You know, um, it's kind of difficult to find that using only natural light. So sometimes I use artificial light as set up by my organizers and my friends. But most of the time, I'm so happy when I see those spotlights naturally, when they are not generated artificially, but naturally. And just like this,
Wow.
Um, I love how this light coming through from the shadows of the tree, from the branches of the tree. I like the effect on the subjects. It's more dramatic. So, and sometimes it can be um, so spotlighty kind of studio kind of effect. But this is not a studio. This was from a workshop and it's with natural light.
Wow.
However, I am quite good in Photoshop to create this kind of effect of light on the face of the subject.
Wow. You're very
Maybe
good.
my next workshop with you would be about Photoshop.
Okay, let's do it, Manny. But
Okay.
this is really good. It looks like it's in studio.
Thank you so much. I can do
Yeah.
that in Photoshop. Okay.
Okay.
Uneven light. I love it when the light is uneven because there's light and shadow. Okay, just like this, like, oh wow, what's in the shadow? Okay, so people, once again, it's like an empty space, people can
Yeah.
put in their story. It becomes more dramatic, it becomes more natural with the uneven light.
Why all your picture you like to only to show one eye instead of two eyes? Why?
Yeah, I think it's more dramatic when you're hiding something. It becomes more mysterious.
Okay.
Okay. I also I started off with veils,
Yeah.
you know, and I noticed that I actually win more competitions when I hide one eye, you know, because I think if you show the whole face, it's ordinary.
Correct.
So sometimes I hide the eyes, Sometimes I had to hide half of the face. Sometimes I have to hide the mouth. I have to hide some things, which makes it more mysterious.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But this also you cover some face, but you are using a shadow to cover some face over here.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And then
So as I become more sophisticated in my photography, I learned that it's not only the veil that can cover the face. The shadow can also cover the face.
correct.
So I
Correct.
learned about that as I go along in my photography.
This
The thing
picture.
is, I shoot a lot, so I discover new things every day. So I
Okay.
think that's one technique for photographers. Shoot a lot,
Shit a lot.
and commit mistakes, make mistakes, because from
Yes.
those mistakes you will learn. And from those mistakes you can create something artistic.
So this is really important for the all the participants who
Uh-huh.
watch today. Like many said, shoot a lot, make a
Mhm.
mistake, because from that mistake we learn a lot.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. What doesn't kill you makes you better. Okay.
exactly. Good philosophy.
Okay. Um, Also, this picture, if you see here, the light is uneven, and I think it actually makes her more dramatic,
Yeah, correct.
so to speak. Yeah. And this light is coming from the glass by the wall, so it reflects on him. And
Mm.
people are saying that that's against the rules, but I told myself that, hey, when you break the rules and come up with pictures like this, I don't mind breaking the rules all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Okay, so if you notice here, you would see here a lot of uneven light, a lot of play of light and shadow in these photos. These are pictures I've taken last January, when I was in my hometown, in Iloilo, in the Philippines.
Okay. In Philippine, right?
Yes. And these models are local models.
Wow. So
Yeah.
impressive. All the eyes. You choose the model. I believe when you choose the model, you just look into the eyes. You don't even care where she's beautiful
Yeah.
or she's not beautiful, but
Hmm.
you got a very
Actually, I
good.
don't. Yeah, actually, I don't choose the model. But then, I would look at the like sometimes, you could not really choose the model.
Yeah.
So when you see the model, you try to think about, okay, what is the most important feature in her eyes, in her face?
Yeah.
It can be the eyes, it can be the lips,
Oh,
it can be the
yeah.
shoulder, you know. It's not just the face, it can be the shoulder, it can be the hair. So in other words, which part of her face tells a lot of story?
Wow.
Okay. Sometimes, when they are not, models, they sometimes look at you and smile, like an ID picture,
Yeah.
and I hate that. So sometimes I like it when I tell them, okay, can you show me some emotion? And then they say like, okay, let me think. And when they start to say let me think, that's when they are showing the emotion. So I said, oh, that's exactly what I want.
Oh,
So that's the
okay.
emotion I want. Now I want you to come here. So I bring her to a place where the light is good. Okay. And
Okay.
that's usually the evolution of my photography. That's the process,
Okay.
because I don't use studio, so I can bring them anywhere.
Correct. But you're really good in a natural light.
They
Really good.
said, when I started to do photography, or when I started to do my workshops, they said that my strength is actually finding the light, the
Yeah.
natural light, and also showing the emotions. That's
Yeah.
that's what they said. And when I do Photoshop, they said my colors. Those are the three things that they
Exactly.
usually are after me.
Just now, all those three pictures you saw before, the colors
Mhm.
is totally amazing. You know
Yeah.
how to mix with the skin tone. You know
Mhm.
the on the left side
Mhm.
with the orange veil and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
black skin tone and the very
Yes.
strong eyes. Really nice. And the background
Thank you so
color
much.
as well. Really
Yeah.
very nice.
Okay, so these are two other photos that I shoot last January, and
Nice.
once again I play with the light and the shadow. If you can see here on the left side, the picture, you know where the shadow is coming from. Can you guess where the shadow is
Uh,
coming from?
from in front of her.
Yes,
In
but
front of
but
her.
what is that? What is that thing on
Oh,
her eyes right
it's
there?
a earring.
Yes. So I let her take off one of her earring and then
Yeah.
hold it up. you
Yes.
know so
Exactly the
that
same.
created a shadow on her face. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Nice.
for me, I feel that when things like that happens, like for me, when I see the model, they have these beautiful earrings, I would say like, okay, we have a harsh light in here. I can create a good pattern in here, you know. And
It looks
when I
like
do
a
something like
makeup.
this, people are saying like, how do you see that? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
my reaction is, how could you not see that?
Come on. If you say, how could you not see that? Because you done it every day. You do a lot of
Yes.
photo shoots, so you get used to it, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly going back to the thing that I was trying to emphasize later on. Shoot and shoot and shoot,
Shit.
make mistakes, you know, because when you do make mistakes, you actually create a work of art, you know.
Exactly. Agree. Totally agree.
Okay, uneven light is not only for models, but it can also be for landscapes, you know. So I am
Wow.
a frustrated landscape photographer, but when I see light like this, I will have to take landscapes, you know.
So you take landscape because of the likes.
Yes, yes.
But
And
this is
in my
nice.
last trip in Ladakh, you know, there are not too many people, so I have no choice. I have to
Uh,
take landscape photos.
but
Like
this is
sometimes the
nice.
whole day you travel without people with on the road, you know. So
Uh-huh.
okay, I'll shoot landscapes. But
But
I
this is
have to
nice.
see the light, you know. The light has to
Wow.
be there. The light has to be uneven. The light has to be dramatic.
That's
Or the
what you like.
colors,
Yeah.
like this.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice. Very nice.
Thank
So
you.
you will like everything is uneven like so you need
Uh-huh.
something dark and something bright like highlight
Yes,
and
yes.
shadow and then you mix it in a one picture. That's what you like.
Yes, it provides dimension and depth into your photo.
Exactly.
Okay, so aside from side lighting, my another and uneven light and other
Spotlight.
things, my favorite kind of light also is backlighting. You know,
Nice.
when I travel, I usually see this, you know, and it gives me goosebumps. Like, oh my god, you know, I have to take the picture, you know, but then you have to wait for someone to go, you know. So that's one thing about traveling. You have to wait for the moment.
Yes.
In my workshops, I create the moment, okay? But
Correct.
in the traveling, you know, you have to wait for it. And
With
I
the
think
moment.
the satisfaction is bigger, is greater
Exactly.
in the traveling because you have to wait for that moment.
Do you ever during your traveling and then you see a very good bed light but nobody pass, do you
I
ever do
know.
calling people around there and then, excuse me sir, can you just walk by past there?
I do that a lot of
Oh
times.
really?
Okay. And if I couldn't find someone, I usually use my guide or my driver to, you know,
Okay,
to be the model. Okay.
okay, okay. This is nice picture by the way.
But I usually have my veils with me, so I can always throw it in and say, okay, use the veil. You know?
Okay, you always bring a fail.
Yeah, because it's a good covering for the sun, and at the same
Okay.
time, it can be a good prop if I don't have a prop during my travel.
So fail is your secret weapon. So for you
Yes,
guys who wants to be like Manny Librodo, please buy fail and then put it in your bag all the time. Okay.
that's one tip.
Yes,
Okay.
one tips.
Yeah. So this is also taken from the workshop, and if you notice here, the light is coming from the back. But
Yes,
then, you know, I learned that when you bounce a reflector in front of the model, you will lit up the face of the model.
correct. Exactly.
And this was taken in a
Wow.
market in Bali. I was with Fajar, and actually Fajar was the one who set up, you know, the light and so on and so forth. So
This is
again, the light
reducing
is coming
reflector?
from the back and some reflector
Oh, okay.
reflected on the face.
Wow. Very nice. Very, very nice.
And this was taken in my trip in Ladakh. You know, when I saw the light on the headdress, I said like, oh my God, that's the kind of light I want. You know, and problem is I don't have a reflector. You know,
Okay.
so I think I use something bright, maybe a piece of blanket that I see somewhere, you know, to reflect the light on her, and
And
a lot of Photoshop.
okay. But you got it.
I think next time, you know, I have to bring a reflector. So veil,
And
reflector,
reflector.
and let's see what else later on.
Okay. Wow.
Ah, backlight, sunrise, sunset. silhouette, amazing. But
Yeah.
then you have to have an interesting silhouette. I think Agatha is in the audience right now, and Agatha was with me when I shot this in
Okay.
Iloilo. And Agatha is aware of the fact that we have the model in that beautiful Ilongo dress and umbrella. And she's also aware of the fact that these fishermen were just passing, and we have to drag them to, okay, you stand there, you stand there. Okay.
But why did you choose with the, okay, let's say in this picture I can tell
Mhm.
there is a girl
Uh-huh.
using an umbrella, but why
Uh-huh.
those pictures using, I believe those pictures is a fisherman,
Yeah.
why do they need
Um,
in the element?
mhm. uh, because I got bored with just the girl in the umbrella, and I want to
Okay.
put in something. And I
Okay.
saw the fisherman. So at the back of my mind, I just want to put someone in there, anybody. And then eventually, when I was doing the retouching, and I was
Uh-huh.
thinking about what is the story, you know, what is the emotion that I'm trying to convey in the picture.
Yeah.
I noticed that there's actually a contrast, a lot of contrast in here.
Yeah.
Normal people, and someone so beautiful, even in the silhouette.
Yeah.
Someone so dressed up, and someone who is ordinary.
Ordinary, but they can
Yeah,
live together. Yeah.
yeah, but they're together.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Iloilo. This is my place. It's a
Okay.
place of many different kinds of people.
Okay.
You may be from the higher up, beautiful position, but you always need to be in community with normal people, especially during this situation, the COVID situation.
Correct.
So when I
Correct.
posted it during the COVID times, it actually has some message that goes along with it.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Very good.
And I am a psychology teacher, so I can always explain even if it doesn't make sense.
It means you are
And
smart, Manny.
yeah, I also saw the kids playing, so I
Mm,
also brought them in the
yeah.
picture. Now,
But
if you ask me what the story is, I could come up with 1,001 stories, on this. Yeah,
but this is nice. I like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Something
because there's
different.
movement, there's dynamic.
Yes.
The other one, there's no movement,
Yep.
but this one, there's
So,
dynamism.
exactly. It shows that the kids are very happy. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
maybe one lady with has a different life. Yeah, something like this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the light, the distribution of the light, and the
Yeah.
sunrise coming in, sunset coming in.
Yeah.
It's not the whole frame, but just from one side.
Nice.
Low key, I love low key. Again, my friend Agatha would say, like, why is your picture always dark? I love it because it tells more emotion. It's
Yeah.
more dramatic, and it's like, photography. The definition of photography for some books is painting with the light.
Exactly.
Um, it's just like it's so dark, and then you start painting in, bring in the light. And I think low key pictures has that quality of bring in the light from a very dark situation.
Nice. Once again, this picture, even though you put so many elements on it,
Yes,
we saw there as a frame or whatever, the bear with the white color. It's
that's
not
right.
distraction at all to the eyes. Still,
Right.
the eyes are very strong, really.
Very, very strong. I think,
Yes.
yeah, give me a good model with good eyes. I could not fail you. I will not fail you. If the light is not good enough, I'll do something in Photoshop to make it look good. Okay.
Yeah. But really, the eyes, once again, the eyes, very good,
Yeah.
Manny.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here it's a low key with the light coming from the side. So, yeah, I love the low key. But then I also love to do high key, because I feel that the high key gives you a lighter feeling. So
Mm,
it usually goes well with happy feelings. This
exactly.
was taken in Jailolo, and this was a trip organized by the tourism department of Indonesia, which
Oh,
was actually facilitated by my good friend Agatha, who's probably watching
Agatha
right
again.
now.
Hai Bu Agatha.
Hello, Agatha. Okay. This is a picture I took from my hometown. It's a place where they call heaven because everything is white. So I made a picture hiking.
It's real? Everything is white?
Yes, it's real.
Wow.
Everything is real except for the fabric. I added fabrics.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but the background it's real.
Okay.
And
We
when
stay
Agatha
to
saw this, and when she went to Iloilo, she said like, "I want to go there." So I brought her there,
okay.
and she said like, "Okay, I'm gonna wear red, all red, so that I would stand out." And the photographer and her knows exactly what to do. Okay, just like me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is the use of the light, and I showed to
Yes.
you how to use the light to create more emotions in your photos. The second one is your composition, your framing, your point of view. Okay, I lump in these three into one criteria. Okay,
Uh-huh.
the point of view, ants eye view from the bottom. Okay, it actually tells a lot of story. When you put your camera down there looking up. So
Mhm.
this is an example. I shot this in New York.
Wow.
What kind of feeling do you get? Like, what kind of a woman is she? Because you shoot your camera from the bottom.
Very tall leg.
What else? More not just physical characteristics, but
Oh.
what kind of a woman is she?
Mm, uh, arrogant?
In New York,
Arrogant? No.
arrogant. That's one. Yes.
Yes.
Powerful. Like
Powerful.
powerful. I am the leader here. I command this place.
Mhm.
Even if the security guard throw us up afterward, throw us out later on. But still
Really?
I was able to show power. By putting that camera down there. And oh my God, that light is real. It's not Photoshop.
Oh, really? Oh.
And I don't have a reflector, but I was able to get that light on her face. I don't know why. Part of it is Photoshop, but I think there's some light, somehow uneven light hitting her.
Okay.
I also shoot this from a slightly lower position, and it shows fame. It's kind of like trying to complement what I want to show that he's famous. Of all the monks in here, he's the only one facing me. And
Wow.
because I want to show that he's famous, that he's beyond all those other monks, I have to shoot it from a lower angle.
Okay. Nice.
That same lady, this is also in New York, and yeah, successful, confident. When
Confident.
you shoot it from a lower angle.
Yeah.
Okay. This was a workshop in Banda Aceh organized by Om Fajar. Okay. And lower angle shows dignity and pride, from the model. Look at this. Strong, because it's from a lower angle.
Yeah. Looks very strong.
Yeah. Imposing, And I usually do not let them look at me, when I have to shoot from a lower angle. Because once again, I want their face to be lit up. Look at this.
Wow. This is
This is
all
from the
low
same
angle?
white place.
All low angle.
All low angle. Okay, so it creates a certain kind of feeling, a certain kind it gives a peek into the character of your subject, or maybe she's not that kind, but you want her to appear like that, so you shoot it from a lower angle.
What lens do you use?
My
focal
favorite
length.
lens is the 24-85. No,
24 and
24
85.
1
20,
24 1 1
24 105.
105, right?
105.
24
Yes.
105.
Oh, okay.
I like it because it's not actually the top of the line of Sony, but I like it because it gives me a lot of dimension. The 2470 sometimes, doesn't give me a very close up, thing. So if I can bring only one lens, I would bring the 24-105.
24-105. That's why, I mean, since there is a 24 mm, I mean, the widest
Mhm.
is the 24 mm. Even though you took from low angle, you don't scared about the distortion, right?
Right, right,
Okay,
right.
I
Because
got it.
I'm using 24-105. Yeah,
Exactly.
24
Oh, okay.
only.
Okay.
Okay, I shot this in Jai Lolo, and this was taken from a low angle. So it gives that sense of pride, dignity, in their culture. And contrast this with this. I shot this from a bird's eye view, from a higher angle. Okay? And it gives you a different kind of feeling, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. So your point of view can actually um, dictate the emotion that you're trying to show in your photos or the story that you're trying to show in the photos. Like this picture that I have in one of my workshops, I shoot it from a higher angle and it shows that this lady is very vulnerable, She needs help.
Yeah.
She's weak. She has some weak points, because you shoot it from a higher angle.
Yeah. It's like a Caesar already.
Yeah. This girl, I have to take it from a higher angle, she feels cold. She feels alone, so I
Scared.
have to shoot it from a higher angle because I want to show her weakness, her
Okay.
frailty, how frail she is. This boy, once again, I have to show how helpless he is. And you add to his pose. It's fetal. He's like a fetus. It's like retreating back to childhood.
Yeah.
He needs help.
Wow.
I do this in my model shoot, again, she's like a fetus in her mother's womb. Look at this. She's like in the womb of the mother. So
Yeah.
there's a story in this picture.
This is crazy.
However, if you shoot from a higher angle and you let your subject smile, it gives you a sense of being hopeful, So they're like looking up, looking up to a brighter tomorrow. Okay. So a smile and a frown, let them frown and you would tell them, you would be able to tell a totally different story. And in
Correct.
psychology, I can do that at a snap of a finger. Not really at a snap of a finger, but it would take some time, on how to elicit the smile and how to elicit a frown or a face of sadness.
Wow.
In psychology, we have this thing called classical conditioning. That when you
Classical
condition
condition.
someone to smile, they would smile, and when you condition someone to show a negative kind of feeling, they would show that. Sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's not. I use that in my travel photos. In my wedding photos, sometimes I shoot from a higher angle. Again, the smile there shows hopefulness and a brighter tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, the covering of the
Nice.
face, and so on and so forth. So I'm showing you different other examples in my workshops of pictures that I took from a higher angle. Sometimes
Wow.
it's just being more artistic. Sometimes there's no story. It's just beautiful visually,
Yeah.
So there's not much story. Like this one, what's the story? There's not much, but it's beautiful visually.
Yeah. The reflection of the cloud, the
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
shape
that's
of the
right.
boat. Yeah. Very nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you frame your subject can also contribute to your storytelling. Like this, I love framing my subjects with leaves, especially if the leaves are so huge, not typical.
Yeah.
So um, it contributes to your story. Maybe she loves Earth, Mother Earth, or she's a creature of whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes the story come about after you shoot it. Okay, like when you're post processing and you're like, okay, what kind of story I would like to tell my viewers? Okay.
You
Sometimes
are right.
it's before the shoot. Sometimes it's during the shoot. But most of the time, it's after the shoot.
After the shoot, most
No,
of the
I would
time.
say it's during the shoot. The preparation before allows you to prepare what do you need, right? The during the shoot, that's when things become spontaneous, especially for me because I'm dealing with natural light.
Yeah.
It depends a lot on what kind of light do I have. Like the picture on the left here, yes, I have those leaves, but if the light is flat, it would be bad.
Yeah.
I need to have that light, right?
Right.
And after the shoot, it's the post processing. When you're trying to post process, when you're trying to manipulate, when at times you actually manipulate the elements, like you make the leaves bigger,
Yeah.
you make the makeup more stronger in terms of the color, and so on and so forth. So most of the emotion comes in during the shoot. The before the shoot dynamics is actually very stressful because that's when people set up expectations. And sometimes, when you expect so much and it doesn't happen, you become rattled during the shoot.
Correct.
So I want to skip that before the shoot preparation. I would like to give it to my stylist, makeup artist, because it will all depend on what the elements are going to be during the shoot.
Agree. So
Yeah.
don't think too much on the preparation. Let it flow during the photo shoot, and then if you have any inspiration, oh, I want to make this kind of a story, then do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I think a lot of it is also expectations. And remember, you're working with many people. Give
Yes.
them that power to do their work. Like you
Yes.
have a makeup artist, you have a model, you have a stylist. Let them do the before the shoot. You know, concentrate on during the shoot.
During the shoot is your time, the photographer's
Yes,
time. Before the
yes,
shoot, let them do it.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, this one I have to credit Agatha for this picture because she lent me her super wide angle camera lens.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
1635.
Is there yeah, 1635, yes. It was the
Okay.
1635 which
Or
she
maybe
brought from
1224.
you, I guess. Okay. Okay, so anyway, yeah, she was so good that during the shoot he said like, you want to shoot something like this? And I said like, okay, I have mine. And I look at mine and I look at her and she said, oh, hers is better. Okay, can I borrow? Okay, and then I shoot this frame and returned it to her. But then, the framing is amazing.
Amazing.
It shows so much about the story of this guy.
Yeah.
This was in Bali in Fajar's one of Fajar's organized workshop also. And when you use the foreground, the bokeh, and so on and so forth, it creates a nice frame into the
Yeah.
picture. And if you notice, it's not just the bokeh, but also the shadows on the face coming from the fabric.
Exactly.
So it's actually a lot of elements going on in there, but it doesn't distract from the model. If you notice that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very that's one thing that I try to remember, especially when I shoot, and a lot of it during the post processing. I feel that sometimes I have too much elements, and I feel that okay, if I could have subtracted elements during the shoot, it would have been better. So I learned those mistakes, and the next time around, I remember those.
Yeah.
Not too much elements, because if it's too much, it becomes a fruit salad. You know, it's beautiful, but
Too
sometimes it
much.
doesn't make sense. There's too many.
Yeah. Use a foreground. Nice.
Use a foreground. In this case, the umbrella. So remember on how to do your framing more artistically. Sometimes remember there are no rules in photography. There are no rules in framing. Whatever works for you, do it. And try to think about things that people haven't done yet. Because if
Yes.
you copy and copy and copy, you will always be a copy.
Yeah.
So do something that people haven't done yet. Like look at this. Cool window. I noticed
Yeah.
this when I passed by, and I say like, oh my god, her windows has mirrors, you know, and I have to find the owner and I have to ask her to stand there, you know,
Yeah.
and try to get the reflection from the mirror.
Wow.
It helps that she was wearing a very colorful shirt.
Shirt.
Composition. Okay, so for composition, I would like to show to you some of the recent pictures I have. This was in Ladakh. If you notice here, it's a quadrant. You can see so many things in here,
Yeah.
right? But then, you know, you have to show it in one frame, you know. Like you could not show the whole stairs. It's okay, you know, it's just one frame, you know.
Yeah.
And I think what makes it good is the background of the snowy mountain there at the back. You take it out and the picture is just, you know, typical.
Yeah. But this different. Wow.
It's different. Yeah. Also this one, you know, amazing. You know, when things like this happens, it's just magical.
Yeah.
And you don't mind waking early in the morning or staying late at night, and you want to do it again and again and again. If things like this happen, hoping that tomorrow will be the same,
Yeah.
but no 2 days are the same. It will be different, you know.
Correct.
So you can go back the next day and it won't give you the same scenario and the same mood from you also.
Okay.
So I think in photography you have to seize the moment. When you see it, do it, you know, because in a split second the light will change. If you come
Exactly.
back tomorrow, the high tide will be low tide. You know, you never know what's going to happen. So if it's in there, do it, you know. Don't wait for, okay, I'll wait for maybe a few more seconds. No, do it now. The use of the mirror, you know, you get inspiration from Pinterest, from, you know, online, you know, and do it your own way, you know, and how you will compose your photos. These two are twins, you know, so it helps that they post for me. From Jay Lolo, and I think you know what is it, right? What is
This
the
is
picture?
from the reflection.
Yes, from the
You.
reflection.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's something different, you know. Like when we went to this place, you know, I saw them throwing water on the road,
Yeah.
and the purpose for that is because it's too hot, or maybe to take out the dust, you know. But then when I saw it, I know exactly what I'm going to shoot. Okay, wait, I have to stay here, you know, because I know that when the dancers come, they would have a reflection in there. So people are kind of like passing in front of me, and I said like, oh my God, they didn't see it, you know. But I waited, and I was able to shoot this.
Very nice.
Colors. Okay, as what I've said, I'm known for my colors, and it could make a lot of difference into your photos. Like this picture, through post processing, I changed the color, and it, you know, it changes the mood.
Totally different.
Yeah. So if you want to have a sense of coldness in your photos, you need to use a lot of blue. A lot of blue, or in the range of blue.
Okay.
So cold, the feeling of coldness, the feeling of aloofness, of someone being too distant, you know, someone who is not too friendly, someone who feels alone. You can color your pictures blue. Okay,
Wow.
this was in a picture taken in Bhutan. The opposite of that is, if you want your picture to appear bright and warm, you have to use red and
Or yellow.
yellow tones. Yeah. Look at this. You know,
Yeah.
this is one picture that I'm telling you. Seize the moment. So this happened in the Philippines. I love the sunrise, and I want to go back the next day. The next day when I went back, there's no water. You know, so I wasn't able to take a picture like this.
But you're lucky because you got this picture already.
Yeah, but I want more, you know. So I went back the next day. Yeah,
So
but
you
it
didn't
didn't
check the
happen. They are
tide.
totally different places. Like they look totally different, you know. And I felt like, oh my God, because I'm not a landscape photographer. That could
Yeah,
happen in landscape. How
exactly.
bad, or not bad, how challenging their work is. So
Mm.
if you translate that to portraits, when you use yellow, the warmth tone is in there. If you notice that, she's covering one of her eyes again.
Again, one eye.
Yeah. So
Very
if you can
nice.
see here, in the picture, the one on the left is more of I'm using blue, a lot of blues, but it's warm. So the feeling is happy, you
Yeah.
know, light. On the right, the picture, I'm using also blue and pink, but it's more of the cold tone. So the feeling here is not so happy, alone, mysterious, and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
So your colors can create your story and can dictate the emotion you want in your picture.
But it's very
And
difficult
colors
to
can
choose.
sometimes be achieved in Photoshop. Sometimes it can also be achieved in styling.
Okay. But very difficult to choose a perfect match color for some people. Like for
Mhm,
me, I sometimes I don't know how to match the color. Like for example, on the right pictures, you are using cyan and then
mhm,
maybe pink and
mhm.
purple. Yeah, and then
Purple, yeah.
but the whole ambience, I mean the shadow, you put the blue color also on it. And this is a
Yeah.
perfect
Mhm.
choices.
But you know what? My God, I think I spent 2 days on this photo.
Really?
So in the post processing, because I'm not happy. I wasn't so happy with the colors for so long. So they're like version 1, version 2, version 3,
Version
version
three.
4, version 5, version 6,
Oh my
because
god.
I have to do it many times. So what I'm trying to say in here is that I work a lot during the shoot. Before the shoot, I gave it to my collaborators.
Yeah.
I work a lot during the shoot. Well, not really a lot because everything is spontaneous. And the retouching. I think I spend so much time in the retouching sometimes. So I love it when I'm doing travel photos, retouching. It's fast. I don't do much.
Okay.
But for models, oh my God, like I feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then when you come up with pictures like this too, you want to
Damn.
do it. After one, you want to do it again.
Yes, exactly. It feels like a bang.
Yeah.
I got
And I
it.
think that's very, very important point.
Yeah.
Zach Arias, when he saw my photos, he said like, "Oh my God, these are all your photos. Like, how could one person in 2 days come up with like 70 beautiful photos?" It baffles him. Like for them, because they're using light, they can come up with 2 or 3 good photos. That's it.
Yeah.
But for me, I could come up with like 70 good photos. And he said like, "How could you come up with 70 good photos
I know the
in
answer.
1 day or in 2 days?"
I know the answer.
And I told him, I don't know. I think everything is spontaneous for me. And then he said, like, you know what, your post processing is good. You know, your pictures are already good, but I think your post processing is good. Your vision is good. He said. He said the word vision. You know, but he said, what's good about your work is that your vision doesn't stop after you take the photo. When you retouch the photos, another vision comes in.
Oh.
So, so he said that what makes me a bit special. He was telling that to me in maybe in the year 2010 when we
Okay.
were both speakers in the Middle East. He told me that what makes your photo a bit very special at the time. He said was because of the fact that you retouch your photos and your vision doesn't stop after you take the photos. For us, we just dump it into our retoucher. But for you, you continue on your vision when
Correct.
you retouch the photos.
Supposed to be you say why? Because I am Manny Librodo.
Thank you. Okay, you have to show also contrast to create tension. Contrast in the colors. It could be the
Mm,
contrast of the black and the white. It tells a lot of stories in the picture. Okay, your model, you can have also the contrast in your model. You can use the white and the black model literally,
wow.
and also the contrast of the pink and the yellow green outfit.
Yeah.
You can also show contrast of elements like this. Have you noticed such a
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful, clean face
But
and
the
such,
hands.
pardon my word, ugly and dirty hands? Like, how could that be belonging to only one person? So when you show pictures like this, the contrast of elements, you are actually telling a lot more story, and you are actually showing more emotion in your picture.
How could you come up with this kind of idea, Manny?
I saw her hands, and I said like, oh my God, I have to bring this hand into the picture.
Wow.
So at first, I don't want to bring it. So I said like, okay, show me the face. So I tried to shoot her, and I said like, oh my God, you have such a beautiful face. So she
Yes.
likes me. So she wants to have more pictures with me, and I said like, can you put your hand on your, and then she's probably aware how bad her hands are, and she said no, and I said, okay, only one picture, please. And then she did it, and I have to shoot it right. So when I have some brilliant idea in my mind, I have to make sure that my setting is perfect, that everything is perfect, the light is perfect, because I have to shoot only possibly one frame, you
Exactly.
know. Because if you keep on shooting more and you would say like, oh my God, this is so good, and then you keep on shooting, before you know it, you were shooting her for 1 minute, the emotion change,
Yeah,
and she's not natural anymore.
correct.
So remember, if you have a brilliant idea, execute it first in your head, right at that moment when you see that, and then always remember that you have to get your shot on the first click,
Only
because
one.
that's when you get the best emotion.
It's really, it's a wrap picture, you got everything, the emotion, the
Mhm.
story, the eyes, the face. Oh my God, the colors as
The
well.
colors.
Yeah, very nice. Hmm.
Also from this white place, if you notice here, there's also a contrast of element, the black and the white, the red and the black, and the human and the not human. There's so many
Yeah,
contrasting elements in here.
very nice. Amazing.
Actually, I changed the color of the dress into red because Agatha said so.
But you have a very good knowledge on the color palette. That's the
You
best
know
thing that you
what?
have.
Yeah, people are saying, Manny, what is your guide in the color palette? And I said, like, no, I don't know. And they said, Manny, are you aware of the primary colors? I said, yes. Are you using that? Maybe subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am not using it like consciously, but subconsciously. And remember, I retouch my own photos. So I'm sort of like retouching also the colors.
Yeah,
So I think what makes my colors really stand out is because it's clean, clean execution. There's no
yeah,
spill out. Like if you notice in here, the skin tone is very clean, you
yes,
know, and the colors are all on the dress.
correct.
Yeah, and so on and so forth. So there are many, there are so many things that you see as a whole, but then when you actually get into the details, you would see that, oh my God, the skin tone is so clean.
Mm-hmm.
How did
I
he do it?
notice it.
So these are small things, and some people do not see it, but then they see only the whole picture. And that's the reason why they would say your colors are so good.
Yeah,
Like even the sky, if you see there's a gradation of blue, like from
exactly.
white to blue.
How do you decide it?
So
You just decided well.
actually, it's in the photo already. It's in the
Oh,
photo when I take it, and then I just enhance it in the post processing. So
okay.
sometimes things happens in the picture. The cameras right now are very intelligent. It gives you what you want,
Yeah,
but then sometimes there's too much. Sometimes there's less,
yeah.
and that's where my post processing comes in.
Okay, got it.
Yes. So, but the base is on what you have captured. I use distinct in bold colors. Even in my landscape, I love my colors to be distinct. I want the blue to
Nice.
be blue. I want the red to be red. But I'm also looking at the whole picture. They have to gel well. Like warm and cold, there are two different tones. But then
Yes.
they have to have that meeting point somehow.
How do
So
you
I
decide?
don't know how I do it,
Yeah, you just,
but
I mean, I believe you are not like you don't have a big knowledge about the color palette, but
Mhm.
I believe while you do the post processing and then you change the color, it just come up suddenly and then you know, oh, okay, this is perfect, this is match, this is match.
Yeah,
Is it like that?
yeah. Yes, it is like that.
Okay.
What is good in my eyes? That's my criteria.
Okay.
And um, I think I would say that it's a strength because when you know your color palette, you actually becomes very conscious about the colors that you're using. There's actually some sort of like a guide for you, so
Mhm.
you're afraid to break those guides. So you are some sort of like in a box.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the rules, you don't know, you don't have a limitation.
Correct.
Your
Agree.
limitation is only if you're so tired, okay, I'll stop. Okay. And then you close your eyes, and then the next day you look at it and I said, like, oh my God, the colors are awful. And then you do it again. That's your
Yeah.
only limitation. You don't know the rules. And I think that's very, very important, because I think you have to follow your heart, just like when you shoot.
Wow, that's amazing, and that is the best value from from you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Also in my portraits, this is not a studio portrait. It's travel for portrait.
Wow.
I also use distinct colors. Like for example, she has too many colors on her outfit, on her headdress. So I have to tone down a bit of the colors of the face so that the colors of the outfit, comes up, but not to the point of distracting the face
Correct.
also because the face is the jump off point in this picture.
No, I mean, look at the green, Manny.
Yeah.
Green, we still can see that is a green, but
Yes.
it's not like a two stand out. But we notice
Mhm.
that is a green and then very nice in the eyes. I mean, I can tell. Look at the orange also on the top of the head, But it's not distracting at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
very nice. But look at the skin tone, you can make a boom on the skin tone,
Yeah.
and then with still so many colors around it,
Right.
but people still can
Maybe
see.
that's right. Maybe in my next workshop with you, I can show the before and the after, and then the thought process.
Yes,
How
let's
do you
do it.
come up with the thought process?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Perfect.
This one is from Joy Lolo, and yeah, you can see here the richness of the tones, the bold colors, but not to the
Nice.
point of distracting on the main subject.
Yes, correct.
I
See.
also apply my bold colors in my street photography. Like my God, I didn't see so much colors on the streets in Chin State in Myanmar. My God, how could have so much colors?
Wow.
So I have to bring them out to show more feelings, more emotions. I
Wow.
love festivals, especially
Thi-
colorful festivals.
this is
That's
Holy
when I can
Festival.
go crazy with my colors.
Holy Festival in India.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes.
yeah.
I love it. That's when I say I love colors, but then I think I have an overdose of colors in Holi. Like, oh my God, too much. When I retouching it, I don't know already what the right colors are because there is no limit to your colors.
No, but many, what the things that I like from your color. Look at the hands. Okay,
Yeah.
the hands, it's a dark,
Mhm.
but I still can see the purple color. It's very difficult. It's not easy to
Ah,
do it.
okay.
Yeah.
Ah, mhm.
I mean, on the yeah, you see on the hands,
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
on the top, it's a dark, right? But I still
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see the purple. Same on the green on the corner, even though
yeah.
it's dark, but the color still there. It's not easy to
I
do
think we
that.
have, I think we have to give credit also to the camera. I think the Sony camera is quite good in capturing the colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And also, yeah. I think the capability of the Sony camera to bring out the details, in the colors
Oh,
is amazing.
okay.
So I think part of that is because of the camera.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it.
festival. My God,
Ooh,
movement, colors, you have
oh my
everything. I
God.
love it.
Oh, this is
I love
cool.
shooting
This
the
is cool.
festivals. And even if you use only one color, you don't be afraid to be bold. Like if you think you are doing too much, push it more, and you'll be surprised,
Really?
by the effect.
Push it more. Even push it more.
Yeah, because there's no limit. Your the limit is only your imagination. Your fear, actually, your fear is your limit. But when I look at pictures of some of the photographers I admire, oh my God, the way they use the colors, I feel like, oh my God, I'm just grade one, and they're like doctorate degree. They push it more. So when I see pictures like that, which I like, pictures like this, I said
Wow.
like I can also do that. So people would say like, Manny, you're using your colors too much. I don't care. I want to be more creative. So I don't want to be the same careful Manny. I can go beyond. So yeah,
Okay. Interesting. I'm going to put it in my landscape picture then. Try to push more
yeah.
the color.
Yeah, yeah. So I love it when my stylist will give me a lot of colors. But then I have to be careful also. Sometimes it would be too much. So in this
Yeah.
picture, I put them quite far from each other. This was taken in January. I didn't know there's going to be COVID. The epidemic will blow up, and
Yeah.
when I show this, during the COVID era, it's a good you know, social distancing, physical
Yeah.
social distancing poses
Wow.
of models. Sometimes, because I love colors, my organizers would tell me, Manny, I'll give you a lot of colors. And they would give me literally a lot of colors. And sometimes I feel like there's too much, but I like it. But I also would like to go back to my favorite photo. And that is the picture of Rosalinda. And that picture was black and white.
Okay.
And I
Black and
would
white.
like to emphasize the fact that after seeing all these beautiful colors from me, after seeing all these bold colors from me, I can also shoot black and white and show as much emotions in my pictures. Tell as much stories in my pictures if you're shooting a black and white photo. In other
Yeah.
words, it's not about the colors,
Not just
but
by color.
the emotions.
Emotions.
And more importantly, the choice of subjects. What are you going to shoot? Be it people, landscape, inanimate objects, still life, you have to choose your subject very well.
Wow.
And I'm so lucky that I started off with this girl. Remember her?
Yeah.
I shot her in Boracay Island when she was 3 years old, and the picture became viral.
UNICEF.
UNICEF would like to use the picture as a cover, and they used the picture as a cover of one of the magazines. It was in the memorabilia. So after 3 years, I went back to Boracay and looked for her. She was not there, but they told me that she's coming back in 2 days. So I stayed longer in the island
Okay.
because I want to meet her. And she came out on the second day. And so I shot her again. And this was her picture. Okay. Um, she has grown a lot, but her eyes are still the same.
Same.
You can still see the soul in her
Yeah.
eyes. So I
Yeah.
took this picture and put them up online. And once again, UNICEF would like to use it as a cover for the calendar.
Wow.
Use it in the cups, and so on and so forth. And I
Wow.
was so happy. I started to contact the father because she's a minor, and I gave them some money. And then I continued on teaching. I thought that was the end of my story with her. But
Yeah.
what happened was that someone told me that, hey, Manny, that girl that you shot in Boracay, I met her here in Cebu. She's now in college. Okay. And she turned out to be quite beautiful. And I said, like, really? So I said, I want to do a workshop in Cebu Island, in Cebu City, with her as my model. Okay. So my organizer tried to contact her, and we brought her in as a model. So she became a model in my workshop
Wow.
when she was, I think, 20 years old,
Okay.
or maybe not 20, 18 years old. And that's like 12 years after I shot this. Okay. And this was her picture from the workshop. So they styled her like Manny Librodo style. So I do not see a wow from you. And I said, like, no, I don't like her that way. So after the workshop, I told her, Lordily, her name is Lordily,
Okay.
I want to shoot you the same way that I shot you when you were 3 years old.
Yes.
Okay. I want you to take off the thing in your hair, wash up your face, and so on and so forth. And she said, okay. And then she came out. Then I said, like, okay, we have to shoot you with the same condition of the light, and so on and so forth. And I shot this. Okay.
Nice.
So I was telling myself, oh my, you know, it looks exactly like you. So if I were to put all the pictures side by side, here they are. Okay.
Wow. It's
And
the
I'm trying to
same.
close this presentation with these three pictures because this is just like my photography. Yes, I have evolved so much. I have grown so much in my photography, but I still keep the basic of storytelling and the basic of showing an emotion in my photos. Why? Because I continue to see through the eyes of a child. I'm still that innocent Manny. I still did not learn photography. I make a lot of mistakes technically. I make a lot of mistakes, not just technically, but I keep on looking at the world with innocence, because I feel that with such, I can express the purest of emotion. I don't want to be thinking like an adult. I want to think like a child. If
Wow.
I want to shoot, I want to keep on shooting. If I want to say something, I have to say it. I don't have to filter because I believe that emotions are never filtered. And I believe
Correct.
that you show the best photos when you let out there in your photos. That's it. Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good. Wow. What a presentation from Manny Librodo.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so exciting to hear all your presentation. I mean, it's really inspiring for us, for me especially. Not only
Thank
about
you.
photography, but yeah, I can take a lot of story from your presentation. Thank you, Manny. Okay, Manny, we got some comments in the
Uh-huh.
participants webinar. They said like, this is from Raymond Chan. He said,
Uh-huh.
"Hi, Manny. When will you when will you be coming back to Singapore for another workshop
After the COVID, let's
after the
organize
COVID?"
a workshop there.
Okay, so Raymond, after the COVID, Manny will be back to Singapore for doing workshop. Okay, and this is a question from Vika Kartika.
Mhm.
Do you make or create a concept before taking photo?
As what I've said, workshop photos or fashion photos, I have general things in my mind, and I let the stylist come up with the work, and then everything is free flowing during the workshop. Like it's very spontaneous because it depends on the light,
Yeah.
depends on the feelings of the models, and so on and so forth. But
Okay.
during the travel, um, I don't want to expect anything. I want to be out there and experience the culture and be spontaneous.
Experience the culture. That's the most important. Okay, Mr. Manny, I think this question is we already mentioned, but it's okay. Let me just read for Sulaiman Hassan. Mr. Manny, for the color of all your photos you show, did you doing color retouching or color grading, or it's all original and you did not do any color editing?
I do color editing. Color grading, I don't even know what the term is, okay? But I use a lot of retouching, especially for the skin tone. I'm very, very particular about the skin tone. And everything is with Photoshop. I use Photoshop to retouch my photos.
Okay. This is another question. What type of your favorite lens for shoot this? I think
Okay, yeah. I think, okay, if I will go back into my history, my first favorite lens was the 24-70, because it
okay.
allows me to shoot very tight, and it also allows me to shoot a bit of the environment.
Yep.
Um, when 24-105 came out,
Mm-hmm.
I switched my favorite. I switched my carry around lens to 24-105, because between 70 and 105, there's so much that I can do, especially for portraits.
Okay. Okay. Let me see another question. For the crystal picture with flowers at the alley, what camera
Mhm.
did you use? This question from Alex Mulia.
Mhm. Okay. It's I used to be an ambassador of another brand.
Yeah.
I won't mention what brand. Right now, I am with Sony. But I used to be an ambassador also of another brand. So that is the brand that I was using then. I
Okay.
think it's yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Another question from Sulaiman Hasman.
Mhm.
Sorry, Sulaiman Hassan. Many for the face portraiture, you
Mhm.
cut or crop it on photo editing software, or it's original from the shoot from viewfinder look.
Original, yeah,
Original.
original from the shoot.
Okay.
My Yeah, my type portraits, the face portraits, are usually original from the shoot. Like the three picture that you see right now on
Yeah.
the screen, these are original from the shoot. I want to shoot as I wanted it composed, final composition, in final
Wow.
composition. I don't want to have that habit of like shooting anything and then cropping in the post processing. I don't want that kind of mindset. I want to crop it in my camera the way I want to crop it in the final output.
Okay. Okay. This is a very very interesting question from
Uh-huh.
Nathan. Yeah. You don't follow the current trend, soft tonal photo. How can you survive in the
Can you say that
photography?
again?
You don't follow the current trend, soft tonal photo. How can you survive in the photography world? Yeah.
Okay. Um, I think artists are supposed to have their own identity.
Correct.
In
I
other
agree.
words, the painters, when you see the work of a painter, you know that it's his work. When you see the work of Rembrandt, for example, it's
Yeah.
Rembrandt's.
Yeah.
It's because he's following his signature look. The reason why I'm still using my own colors is because of the fact that I want to be identified as me. But I also would like to evolve and grow as a photographer. And I want to learn what you just mentioned, the soft colors too. Because I think, as what I've said in this presentation, I think I'm not known for my colors, but I'm known for the emotions in my photos.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter whether I shoot with colored pictures or whether I,
Black and
show
white.
a black and white
White.
photo. Um,
The
whether it's
emotion
high
is there.
contrast or soft contrast, for as long as you're showing the emotions. But
Yes.
I feel that whenever I show low contrast pictures, my God, I don't feel it's me. I don't feel happy here. You know,
Yeah.
and when you don't feel happy here, you don't get inspired to work.
Okay.
So stay true to myself, I guess.
That's a very good answer from many, and then please stick on it. You need to have your own identity. Whatever it is, just stick on it. And
Mhm.
people will know you because, for example, many, we can tell all the pictures many show before. We can see the emotion is there, the eye is there. So it's really like a, oh, even though this picture also making goosebumps. So, okay, this is the last question,
Uh-huh.
David. And very, very good question. Is
Mhm.
Agatha a model?
Okay, I would like to get it into a secret. Get you into a
Okay,
secret. Okay,
okay.
Agatha is just like me. We are frustrated models. So whenever we travel together, we shoot each other. You know,
Okay.
and sometimes I feel that I am becoming more of a model when Agatha is around because she wants to shoot me or she wants to shoot anyone that she is with. You know,
Oh.
and I think her main purpose for doing that is because eventually she wants the favor returned. She wants you also to shoot her. Okay, so the answer is yes, but we both are frustrated models.
What? It means Agatha is smart.
Yes, she has a lot of Manny Librodo photos already.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Anyway, Manny, we are so pleased, and it's an honor for us. You can bring the workshop today. You can give us more knowledge, give us more inspiration. This is the best thing so far I got. If you're talking about portrait, about emotions, yeah, we learn a lot. Yeah, thank you so much, Manny, for your time, and then for the knowledge that you're giving for us in Indonesia. We do really appreciate it. Okay, so teman-teman, terima kasih banyak juga buat teman-teman yang sudah stay terus untuk nonton di DOSS Virtual Classroom chapter 37 kali ini. Oke, dan kita akan ketemu lagi di next DOSS Virtual Classroom. Oke, thank you so much once again. Thank you so much, Manny. And thank you, Sahabat DOS. Okay, see you again.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank
Klik kamera lirik. Pilih itu semuanya menarik. Ada yang ini, ada yang itu. Ada promo diskon yang bikin pengen cepet move on. Produk spesialis datang dengan menu segudang. Dijelasin asik, gua jadi tertarik. Coba dulu testing dulu pakai semua lensa. Luar biasa, super sempurna. Pilih yang ini, pilih yang ini, pilih yang itu. Semua ada. Pilih yang ini, pilih yang itu. Pilih aja dulu. XS Higher Plus, 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 Plus. 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 www.dos.id Marketplace juga aplikasi beli gratis delivery. Ada asuransi extended warranty dari DOSS Protection, a total perfect